Hello and welcome to another session of Music Matters with Ev. And I am so pleased to say that I have today in the studio to interview and talk to someone who, when I first heard her perform and I heard the sound, I was completely lost for words. And the only thing that I could imagine was, I think I'm hearing the sound of many colors of silk. Welcome, Karin Fransson.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Ev. That's so nice.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's Friday and it's kind
Yes,
of sunny, and yeah, life is good. Could be
good,
worse.
good. You're looking good as usual anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go straight from the start. Please tell us, when did it start for you? When did this musical journey begin?
Yeah, okay. So, well, pretty early, I guess. So, I mean, I was tempted to do like a little quote of an ABBA song. I think that would just be too much because I happen to be Swedish. But my mum did actually used to say I used to be humming and all that sort of thing. Maybe even before I could talk, who knows?
Mhm.
But I think that's a bit too early. But I always kind of had an affinity with music, I think, early on. And then a really good friend of mine called Maya, grew up on a small island in a lake in Sweden. And my friend Maya, she was playing the viola already. And she's like, you should play the viola. I was like, hmm. Why not? So I picked up the viola when I was about 10, and I was playing that for a few years, 6 years or something like that, which was a lot of fun. But then, because I loved singing and I loved like learning songs, and I actually did like ABBA, which was not cool. It was not. It was like after the time it was cool. So I was singing, and then I was I guess teenager, and I was like, it'd be nice to actually be able to play the songs myself. And the easiest way to do that was because my dad plays guitar. There's a guitar already there in the background.
Mhm.
So I got a book, and I learned a couple of basic chords and then all the songs in the book, and loved it. So I guess that was it. And if there was ever an opportunity in school to be like, I want to sing at the end of year, thing, that was me. Yeah, I think so. And I did like writing poetry as well.
Mm.
Um, and around that time, so I think the words and the storytelling and the music kind of grew pretty early on.
Okay,
Um,
that's very interesting because the viola is
mm,
not the common string
no,
instrument.
no.
It,
And you maybe know that we are always the butt of the joke. If you
what the viola
basically
players?
yes, because there's always like if there's someone playing a bum note, instantly everyone goes viola section. Is that you? So yeah, like because I played in the orchestra and ensembles and stuff like that with Maya, and we were always like targeted. So it's like it's a running joke in the classical world or whatever. But I mean I wasn't the worst, but I wasn't the best. But I still
Oh,
play actually. I love that instrument as well. It's really fun. It brings back a
right,
lot of fun
it,
memories.
good. So when did you take on the professional or semi-professional approach to your music then? I mean, you
Yeah,
mentioned about performing in school and
mm,
every opportunity you got, but when
yeah.
did you actually sort of say, okay, look, I'm going to take this seriously?
So I happened to go to America when
Mm.
I was out of school,
Mhm.
and because I had a sweetheart
Mhm.
in Connecticut, so I went over there for a couple of months, and he had this huge music interest as well, which we shared, and a home studio in the
Mhm.
basement. So he was the first one who got me to record, and I was about
Mhm.
19. So I did my first CD then, actual
Mm.
CD.
Wow.
Cover songs, and that just like really like that was like the best thing ever. And
Mm.
I was job shadowing just at the time as well with a jazz singer, local jazz
Mhm.
singer in Hartford
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
Diane Maurer, and she was like affiliated with Dave Brubeck, and there was like jazz choir stuff, and I was like
Okay.
sitting there just going, "Oh, this is amazing." So then I went back to Little Sweden after that, and then I applied for to get into a school here in London, and I moved over here in 2005, and I didn't manage to leave since then. So I guess really that's when I started writing songs and pursuing a music career. So I did a 2-year course in performance and production.
Mhm.
It was quite a wide course. So it was like a lot of songwriting and music history, ear training, like it was kind of sped through. So it was like on
Mhm.
steroids, like learning all this stuff in like a really short space of time. So that's kind of got me into doing it. And after that, I just went out. I was kind of broken after that, to be honest, because I don't know, studying music can be kind of hard on the confidence. But I then gradually went out and I was playing, every, several nights a week on the London scene, and cover gigs, pay gigs, but also like working the open mic night scene hard for years. And then I managed to get into a little bit of money, so I managed to record my first album. I was kind of skipping forward to 2011. Because I had all these songs I've been playing out since like 2005, 2006, and it's like, whoa, it's 2011. No one's been knocking on my door for a record deal. What's going on? So I have to do it myself, which is, it's kind of how it goes. You have to be really persistent and lucky and all of those things to get something done for you. So I thought, well, I'm very much like, I'm just going to do it myself kind of person. Too much sometimes, maybe.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so I managed to get like a nice payout, and I invested that in recording my first album. So I started in February, and I think I finished in June, something like that, all the mixes, and then I had my big launch party in Soho in July.
Wow. So let's just backtrack a minute, because it's kind of got a bit of an international feel. What was it like in Sweden when you compare the music scene in Sweden, America, and the UK?
Well, I was kind of like a baby in Sweden, so I don't really know. I haven't really done music very much back home. I do hear like good things. I mean, I did like a cool gig there once, like one really big gig, like 700 people, which is cool. And that experience was like, wow, they really respect you, and they pay you properly, and they look after you. That's nice.
Good.
I don't necessarily always feel that is the case in the UK, unfortunately, but you just keep going, don't you? Because it's what you want to do. In America, I didn't really I was quite little then. I was about 19 or something like that, 18 something. Yeah. So it was really here in the UK where I started gigging properly, doing like jazz gigs in places where they want jazz with their dinner, darling. So that was good. Christian Vaughan and I used to go out and do some gigs around town. And then after I did my album, I did actually go try to promote it across Europe a little bit. So I did step into like a little bit of the Paris scene, did a few gigs there, which was very interesting. And I also did a gig in Denmark.
How so? Because I would have thought that you would have gone down a tree in Paris.
Yeah, I think I did actually. Maybe a bit more than I expected. There is definitely the French appreciation station there, which was nice. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to cut you. Then you mentioned about Denmark.
Yeah, and then I did because I did the Scandinavian Soul Festival. There's like a quite a big movement, I like to call it, in Sweden, run by a guy called my God. Anyway, Scandinavian Soul, so yeah, they did like a big festival where all the Scandinavian soulful artists got together in Denmark, and we did like this gig there, which was really cool. So that was fun.
Good.
National.
And also, when I saw you, what was so captivating was the fact that it was just your voice and a guitar, and that is, I mean, that's just got to be the most freshest, genericest form that you could come with.
Yeah, it's very true. Like, who doesn't have a guitar and who sings and sings along? But I think, obviously it's the chosen way for me to express myself. It's because, I could play the guitar reasonably easy, because my main thing is like I really do want to express the music that I'm writing. So and I never felt like, I'm not a proper guitar player, obviously. Obviously not, because I was self-taught, and it's just about trying to, like, the music that I have inside of me, to try to like somehow reflect it when I play. So it's pretty delicate, and it's like, I guess, more about the voice, the vocals, and the melodies.
So how do you marry that dynamic with when you're in a band situation?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like smaller constellations, like like duos or trios and stuff like that, because like drums are very loud, aren't they? Which is necessary sometimes, but I prefer probably more acoustic setup. So like at Scandinavian Soul Festival is just guitar, bass, and like cajon, and he doubled up as a vibraphone player, which is really cool. So I like having like more textures as opposed to actual like more drum, traditional drum beats and stuff like that, and brushes and stuff, because it's quite gentle and atmospheric. So yeah.
Okay, so I know that you're very busy right now. We're going to talk about something which is up and coming.
Yeah.
But I want to fast forward now, because you're a performance person. You do live performances as well as recordings.
Yeah.
What happened to your activity come March last year?
Well, funnily enough, because I have in the last couple of years mainly been focusing on recording and like trying to get like a really great sound and get the song sounding great. And I have been doing gigs, but in like more chosen venues, I guess, like the ones I really like, the ones where it's good sound, where you're, where it's nice to perform. But saying that, so last year I was furloughed during lockdown. And I was like in my garden, and I was literally like in a creative bubble for 3 months. It was like, perfect. Oh my God. I mean, and I was like, it was just really nice. And, I was kind of paid to be home to create. I was like, this is my dream come true. Yeah, the weather was nice, and which will lead me on to obviously what that generated, that 3-month period. But I mean, yes, I do. Of course, I do miss playing out and stuff. I did actually manage to do one gig last year. Okay. And it was like, I think the only UK festival that they managed to do, because they did the social distancing very well. So that was called Also Festival. Okay. So that was good to do, to go out. And, yeah.
Okay. And just before we touch on the big issues, how do you see the future?
How do I see the future in terms of my music or the world?
And the world. Let's do your music first, and then the world.
I'm really excited, actually, because obviously I've got some output at the moment, and I've got quite a few like side projects which I'm really excited to start. And I'm not entirely sure what you're going with the question, where do I see the music? I mean, I've got loads of projects coming up. And do you mean like in terms of like how you have to adapt because we can't do more live gigs?
Yes, let's give us your take on that as well.
I don't know, actually. I mean, obviously there's a lot of some interesting things going on, but I do think we will see a return of like live music. Obviously, once we have the vaccine and stuff like that, it might just change, maybe make it a bit more exclusive. Maybe, hopefully, people who go like appreciate it even more, and it will be a really more enjoyable thing to do for artists. Hopefully, it will be like a revolution in the UK, like, let's hail artists.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you advise people who are thinking of taking up an activity in music, like yourself?
Well, I think it does depend on where you set your goal and your ambition. Like if you like, I would encourage anyone to start doing music, especially now, because it's so soothing and it's so like healing even, so I would just say go for it. Try something, try a few different things. Try maybe writing a song. like, why not? Like, no one needs to know about it if you think it sucks. But maybe, you know, it's just like a new experience, like anything, like sourdough baking or banana bread, you know, and art. Music's gonna be the next thing that, you know, you can make your own instruments, whatever. But if you mean like in terms of someone who's trying to break in and be like, actually, I'm quite good at this, and maybe this is like something I want to do. I was thinking about that because I think what's really important is to try and surround yourself with people you trust. I mean, if you don't have a lot of life experience, you definitely need like a good, you know, group of people around you who believe in you, who don't want anything back from you, and who you can trust with, like maybe making decisions about, because it can be quite a like intimidating the music scene, and there's, you know, quite a lot of predators in the industry as well. So I think having, you know, surrounding yourself with people who got your back is like so essential.
Oh, brilliant advice. Okay, so I know now that you've got something in the pipeline, so we can talk about that now.
And now, yes, I have finished another EP. So obviously you received my Commuter Diaries volume 1 as well with the album. So yeah, Commuter Diaries volume 2 is going to be released next Friday on the 19th of March. Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, I'm just crazy this week. I'm just all over the place emotionally, because I'm like, you know, it's just the most exciting and thrilling time, but also like it's crazy. But so the really exciting thing about this is, for me, that these songs I wrote literally in March last year during lockdown. So and they are not sad.
That's interesting.
They're actually quite optimistic, because at the time the weather was beautiful, and like the blossoms were out, and you know, it's very inspiring to walk around and to be thankful enough to have a garden, so I could be outside as well. So it's kind of like the first song, which is incidentally out this Sunday, being premiered at 6:15 on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called Petals Fly. So it's very exciting to share it, because normally I would play songs for like years in advance, and they would really take a long time. But when they came out, they felt like complete songs, and I thought, you know what, it is out of my comfort zone. But sometimes I do believe in pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, and I'm just, you know, I just hope I was very grateful to have like some really great musicians join me on the album. I mean, not the EP. And they are like really brilliant musicians as well. And I think the whole process of putting all the songs together and all the different elements, that is the bit that I love the most. And I mean, now comes the scary bit. Actually let people listen to it. So
well done. And also, I'm going to put some information now of where we can keep an eye on what you're doing. So have you got a website?
Yes, I do. It's not the most frequently updated, but it's karinfransson.com. Easy peasy. Obviously YouTube is /Karin Fransson, also very easy, all one word. I'm kind of mostly active, I think, on Instagram at the moment. I find that it's the easiest thing to update, and then Facebook as well. Where
is it the same description?
So on Instagram, it's actually Karin Fransson Music, all one word.
Okay.
And the same on Facebook.
Okay. Music.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually, if anyone's on iTunes, I'm letting you pre-order the EP and get an instant gratification track on Sunday of Petals Fly. So trying to push people to iTunes, because that people kind of have to pay for it there, which is good for artists. But yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, good. We've got all those details. So what's happening on Sunday? You're doing a live something on Sunday? Well, not live, but online something on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm premiering the first track of the Commuter Diaries Volume 2 at 6:15 p.m. UK time. And I've edited I put together the video myself, and it's I hope you like it. It's all about petals and blossoms. So
that's on YouTube.
yeah, that's going
Okay.
to go live basically at 6:15 in the evening.
Okay, good. YouTube live. All right. Okay. Well, exciting times.
Yes, very exciting. So have you got one more crazy question left to ask me?
Yes, I do. This is the last one, and then you'll go away and continue with your petting preparations. All right. So, Karin, if 2020 was a human being, what would you say to him or her?
What the? In one word.
Okay, that's
Why?
fair enough.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so yeah. All right. So, thank you ever so much for taking the time out. We hope you haven't kept too long. And also, I must ask, because now that we have got you on here and we're trying to give you more exposure, will you agree to come back?
Yeah.
And tell us, keep us informed as to your progress and so on and so forth.
I would be delighted, Ev. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
That's all right. Pleasure. All right. Until the next time we speak, you take care and all the best for the launch.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.